Wow, is it me or is Phil Spencer going out of his way to absolutely piss off Xbox fans? Well, they just announced today that Fable Legends has been cancelled, and Lionhead Studios has also been put to its early grave. And it's unfortunate because I know it's had a lot of fans due to franchises like Black and White and Fable, which I only played part 2, but I enjoyed it. You know, it came with my launch 360, and it was a good experience. I think it was like the best game I ever played, but it was definitely something that I thought was worth touting if you're an Xbox fanboy or an aficionado and you're just trying to think of exclusive games to name off the bat to try to recommend to somebody to buy an Xbox One. I mean, I played the beta a couple of times. It wasn't horrible. No, it was just a free-to-play game, and it was kind of redundant. After you played it a couple of times, initially the load times were kind of slow too. It took almost like maybe 10 minutes to find the match when I played it on my computer. And then my friend brought it over on his Xbox when we tried it out, but it was never anything that I thought was going to really determine if somebody was going to buy an Xbox One, and I was just surprised initially that they weren't working on Fable 4 or some other kind of full-fledged game, you know, instead of going the FTP route. But in the end, they ended up canceling it anyway. They ended up pretty much wasting everybody's time for doing that. And if I'm not mistaken, maybe I think last week or maybe 2 weeks ago, he said it himself that I guess they were trying to ask him why it hasn't been released yet, and he said something along the lines of, "Oh, we're not going to release something that hasn't been that isn't going to meet consumers' expectations or something." Yeah, I'll put the proper quotes and the link in the description as well. And I don't know. I mean, he hasn't really elaborated on it much further. I mean, I'm surprised he hasn't talked about it on Twitter. Last time I checked out his Twitter, he was just talking about Quantum Break gameplay or something. But yeah, I mean, the fact that they canned the game and then shut down the studio, I think shutting down the studio was just the most surprising part of it to me, personally, because they had a reputation. They were part of their big exclusive lineup. I remember that game being in the greatest games in Xbox history lineup a bunch of times, right? It was like one of the 4, one of the 5, whatever. How many games they had on there? I'm not sure if they included Gears of War. Well, they probably did know in them, but yeah. Anyway, so I mean, this is going to be hard to explain. I mean, he's already been having a rough couple of weeks with all these PC announcements because of some of these stupid-ass fanboys that don't understand that the reason Microsoft is rich is because they like to make money. And you know what making money means? Being really freaking cheap. And not only did they cancel the game and shut down the studio, but they canceled PressPlay's new game and they shut them down as well. I played Max of the Brotherhood. It was pretty decent. It was a little platformer-ish type of creative game. It was good. You know, it wasn't anything. You know, I didn't think it was better than Ori and the Blind Forest or something along those lines, but you know, I didn't think it was, again, just like Fable. I didn't think it was anything worth like shutting down and just tossing aside. It's just something entirely worthless. But I guess it just didn't make enough money in the end for them, and they ended up canceling that game and they shut down that studio as well. It just sucks. I think what was their new game was coming out? Kalimbo? Or was that the game that came out? Yeah, I gotta be honest, I'm not an expert on PressPlay's resume or their portfolio, but you know, I played Max of the Brotherhood or Curse of the Brotherhood, some shit like that. It was decent. Kid with a big head? No, I'm kidding. I played it. I'm just fucking around. But I mean, it just seems like something new's happening every day at this point. Like, what's gonna happen tomorrow? Like, it's not even like, you know, you'd be happy if you got something once a week in anything, whether it's news, sports, you know, video games, depending on what you're into and stuff like that. And the fact that it's happening every day, this is getting a little ridiculous, and it's kind of getting somewhat difficult to keep up with at this point. On my damn phone a lot more than I used to be, that's for damn sure. But yeah, let me know what you guys in the comment section if you have an opinion at all on. I mean, it's gonna be hard for the fanboys and the diehards on the Xbox brand to really spin this, because it's not a really good way to spin this. This isn't like they shut down a shitty studio. This is something that they touted a lot. You know, I know people could think of like Sony shut down Zipper Games, but Zipper Interactive Games, whatever the fuck they were called, Zipper something. They weren't relevant by the time that they were canceled. They made 2 shitty games and that was that. Like, these guys were on another level when it came to innovation. Like, Zipper Games interactive, whatever, died in the PS2 era. And they were making relevant and very important games in the 360 life cycle, and they were being heavily counted on, or so the Xbox fans thought. In this generation, it just didn't turn out to be the case. But yeah, once again, guys, let me know what you think in the comments, and see what happens in the coming days. If anything else gets a little bit more explained, I suppose, because I don't think he said one word like I mentioned earlier in the video. He hasn't said one word regarding the cancellations that happened, and he's going to talk about it later, whenever later may be. So yeah, guys, have a good one, be safe. See you next time.